Risk management and compliance. Settlement risk. Principle 35. Market participants should reduce their settlement risk as much as practicable by settling FX transactions through settlement methods that eliminate settlement risk. For example, by using services that provide payment versus payment settlement where available. When determining settlement methods for FX transactions, market participants should consider the following hierarchy to reduce settlement risk. 1. Where practicable, market participants should eliminate settlement risk, for example by using settlement services that provide PVP settlement. 2. Where settlement risk cannot be eliminated, market participants should reduce the size and duration of their settlement risk as much as practicable. The netting of FX settlement obligations is encouraged. 3. Where practicable, gross bilateral settlement should be minimized. Where used by market participants and where practicable, the netting of FX settlement obligations should be supported by appropriate documentation, for example, market standard netting documentation. Such obligation netting may be bilateral or multilateral. Market participants should agree which settlement method will be used for a given product and currency as part of the counterparty onboarding process. Once agreed, the settlement method should be used consistently, and ad hoc arrangements with the same counterparty considered only on an exception basis. Market participants should also review their agreed settlement method choices on a regular basis with a view to reducing settlement risk as much as practicable. The management and relevant personnel of each area involved in a market participant's FX operations should have a thorough understanding of the settlement process and the tools that may be used to mitigate settlement risk, including, where available, the use of PVP settlement. Market participants should consider creating internal mechanisms to reduce risks associated with FX settlement. For example, by using automated solutions over manual processes. Market participants should also monitor industry developments in settlement risk mitigation and seek to adopt best practice. Compliance risk. Principle 36. Market participants should keep a timely, consistent, and accurate record of their market activity to facilitate appropriate levels of transparency and auditability, and have processes in place designed to prevent unauthorized transactions. Market participants should keep an accurate and timely record of orders and transactions that have been accepted and triggered executed, as well as the reasons behind electronic trade request and order ejections, consistent with those set out under Principle 9. To create an effective audit trail for review and to provide transparency to clients where appropriate. This record may include, but is not limited to, the following: the date and time, product type, order type, quantity, price, trader, and client identity. Market participants should apply sufficiently granular and consistent timestamping so that they record both when an order is accepted and when it is triggered executed. Market participants should have processes in place to support appropriate related data storage and retention of such detail. Information should be made available to clients upon request. To provide sufficient transparency regarding their orders and transactions to facilitate informed decisions regarding their market interactions. Information may also be used in resolving trade disputes. Records should allow market participants to effectively monitor their own compliance with internal policies, as well as their adherence to appropriate market behavior standards. Market participants should set guidelines that specify personnel authorized to deal in after-hours or off-premise transactions and the limit and type of transactions permitted. A prompt written reporting process should be developed and appropriate records should be kept. Principle 37. Market participants should perform Know Your Customer checks on their counterparties to ascertain that their transactions are not used to facilitate money laundering, terrorist financing, or other criminal activities. Market participants should have appropriate measures in place to enforce the KYC principle. Market participants should have a clear understanding of all applicable law on the prevention of money laundering and terrorist financing. Market participants should have internal processes in place to facilitate the prompt reporting of suspicious activities, for example, to the compliance officer or appropriate public authority. As necessary, effective training should be provided for relevant personnel to raise awareness of the serious nature of these activities and reporting obligations, while not revealing their suspicions to the entity or individuals suspected of illegal activities. Such training should be regularly updated to keep pace with the rapidly changing methods of money laundering. Principle 38. Market participants should have in place reasonable policies and procedures such that trading access, either direct or indirect, is limited to authorized personnel only. Market participants should maintain trader or desk mandates, which detail what products each trader is permitted to trade, as well as post-trade surveillance in order to detect exceptions from the trader's mandate. Market participants should periodically review trading access in order to confirm that such access, either direct or indirect, is limited to authorized access only. Market participants should implement monitoring practices designed to detect the concealment or manipulation of profit and loss and/or risk using trades or adjustments that are not for a genuine business purpose. Principle 39. Market participants should generate a timely and accurate record of transactions undertaken to enable effective monitoring and auditability. At the request of a client, market participants should be able to provide information regarding the actions taken in handling a specific transaction with such client. Clients requesting data from a market participant are expected to do so in a reasonable manner, avoiding spurious or extraneous requests. When requesting data, a client should outline the reason for the request. Market participants should have processes in place to respond to client requests for the data. Legal risk. Principle 40. Market participants should have processes in place to identify and manage legal risks arising in relation to their FX market activities. Market participants should have an understanding of where applicable law may affect the legality or enforceability of rights and obligations with other market participants and should take steps to mitigate material legal risks. Market participants should have in place legal agreements with their counterparties and should use standard terms and conditions where appropriate. Market participants should maintain a record of the agreements they have in place with their counterparties. When trading, market participants should make clear if standard terms are used and if changes are proposed. Where changes are substantial, these should be agreed before any transaction. Where standard terms do not exist, market participants should take more care in the negotiation of these terms. Market participants should strive to finalize documentation promptly. Considerations related to prime brokerage activities. Principle 41. Prime brokerage participants should strive to monitor and control trading permissions and credit provision in real time at all stages of transactions in a manner consistent with the profile of their activity in the market to reduce risk to all parties. Prime brokerage participants should strive to develop and/or implement robust control systems that include the timely allocation, monitoring, amendment, and/or termination of credit limits and permissions, and adequately manage associated risks. Prime brokerage clients should strive for real-time monitoring of their available lines and permitted transaction types and tenors so that only trades within permitted parameters are executed. Executing dealers should strive for real-time monitoring of designation limits to validate trade requests prior to execution. Prime brokers should have systems reasonably designed to monitor trading activity and applicable limits upon receiving give-up trades. Prime brokers should be in a position to accept trades in accordance with terms and conditions within prime brokerage agreements and designation notices. Prime brokers should have policies and procedures reasonably designed to address limit breach exceptions, limit changes, amendments, and novations. Prime brokers should clearly disclose to clients how they monitor their credit limits and how limit breaches are managed.